What's up, guys? I almost tried to start talking without having my coffee. And y'all know that wouldn't go well. So, I just finished recording the video for this Mira safety gas mask. And some thoughts occurred to me, and I wanted to do a follow-up video for a couple of reasons. I think there's a lot of misinformation, maybe not misinformation, but a lot of thought missing when it goes into talking about things like gas masks. I want to cover a few points. So, I'm just going to reference one person in particular because I think he's a pretty smart fella and makes some doggone good points. Good cousin Dick has got a video where he mentioned about having a gas mask, and he wasn't all that big of a fan of the idea. And I get what he was saying, because he was right in what he was saying. But I'm going to partially disagree, but on a friendly level, right? We are in agreement, he and I. I'm just going to add a little bit out there for you to think on and point out why I've got these. So let's get the first thing out of the way. And that's probably the biggest point that he was getting at in his comments in his video. As armed citizens, armed prepared citizens, if you've got it in your head that you're just going to be out doing what you got to do once things have gone bad, maybe even before things have gone bad, and la-di-da, all of a sudden, oh my gosh, something happened, we got to put on the gas mask. There's an extraordinarily high likelihood that that's not going to happen. It's not how it's going to work, and you ain't going to do it. And here's why. In the military, there's an awful lot of time, or at least back in my day, there was an awful lot of time and emphasis put in on responding to chemical, biological, radiological threats. We spent days doing it, to the point of recognizing the signs and then reacting to those signs. And a lot of times, for instance, for a gas threat, the way you knew that there was a gas threat is somebody around you suddenly started convulsing, vomiting, dropping dead, etc. And when you notice that, the first person to notice it, it was their job to give the universal gas, gas, gas signal. And hopefully everybody else was paying attention. That's why you yelled it really loud. And you reached down into your gas mask carrier, whipped out your gas mask, got it on, sealed it, cleared it, and you're good to go. But you got to practice that. So first, you got to even know that it's there. And short of a squad or platoon full of people with you, you're going to realize that it's there probably about the time you get that first big inhale of it, and then it's too late. You're already done for. So reacting to something like that probably ain't going to happen. You're probably not even going to be carrying it with you, because as anybody who has carried one of these, especially in the old leg bags that we used to have to use, it's bulky, it's cumbersome, it's a royal pain in the butt, it takes up a lot of space. There's all kind of reasons why you will quickly find yourself not carrying this with you for general use. So in all those regards, I agree 100% with what Cousin Dick was saying. He's right. the chances of somebody randomly popping off a chlorine gas bomb near you, and you just, oh my God, there's chlorine gas. That's about how the reaction is going to be. Even if you happen to see the other guy drop from it, it takes a lot of practice over and over and over again to get it to become, and here comes a big fancy college word, an autonomic response, meaning your brain runs on autopilot in putting on the mask and remembering to properly seal it and clear it all in a very efficient manner. Because if you don't, just getting it on ain't enough. You've got to seal it and then clear it. If you forget to do either of those steps, you got bad issues, and putting the mask on pretty much hadn't done you a jolly bit of good. Now, as much as I think Cousin Dick is right in that regards, now I'm going to tell you why I think it's a good idea to have one of these for yourself, for your family, whatever. If you've gotten other priorities taken care of. I think something like this is kind of in the mid to lower, it's not a bottom level priority. I think it's more to the bottom side of the middle tier of priorities, right? Here's what I think this is good for. Maybe not even a full crap hit the fan event. Maybe just everyday life. Maybe somewhere by you, you have industrial areas where there's factories that operate. Maybe you're not all that far away from a set of train tracks. Maybe you're not all that far away from interstate or a large highway. Any of those entities are things where industrial type accidents, chemical accidents, train wrecks, truck wrecks, things like that can happen that could create a toxic environment that you may suddenly get a news alert or a friend calling you, hey, turn on the news, and authorities are saying, hey, everybody in this area needs to evacuate. There's been an accident and there's a toxic gas cloud moving in this direction, etc., etc. In that situation, you've got a heads up and a notice. Excuse me, you got a good idea of what it is probably. And you'll have time to, hey, everybody come on, go where you've got this packed up at, pull the bin out, pass everybody out the gas mask, put them on, get them sealed, make sure everybody's filters are in right, everything's set right. And then if you have to leave, get in your car, leave, do what you got to do. Point being, you'll have time and notice, and not a full-blown instantaneous reaction panic type situation. So in that regards, it's a really good idea to have something like this on hand. If there is a true viral outbreak, and I mean a true contagious viral outbreak, like an airborne virus, this is what's going to protect you, not this. This doesn't do it. It takes this. For a true viral airborne pathogen, that's what you're going to need. Again, something that you would most likely have notice for. In the event of let's just say attack by a foreign entity, whether it's in the form of, say, a radiological dirty bomb or even a nuclear bomb. If you're not killed, if you're not inside the zone of you're just vaporized when it happens, if it's a nuke, then you'll have a little bit of notice, hey, a nuke friggin' went off or a dirty bomb went off. There's a good chance there's radiological particulate fallout in the air. All right, we've got time to put this on and then leave and go to a safer location. So in that regards, I think it's all a good idea to have. As far as thinking you're going to tote one around and respond to somebody popping off a chemical agent at you? Nah, doubt very seriously that's going to happen. Because here's one other little thing that everyone seems to forget when it comes to using these. Okay? A lot of the big hardcore YouTube tier 1 super operators and Instagram operators and just cool guys in general have luscious manes that every male lion in Africa would be proud to be sporting, right? One little problem with that. When you got that big luscious mane, it don't work. You can't seal it. Nobody seems to think about that. Now, if you've got something nice and short like I've got, I can actually get a fairly good seal. I still wouldn't trust it, but in practice I can get a fairly good seal because I keep it so short. However, something that you'll want to keep with your mask, and it's got to be with the mask, because again, we're not talking instantaneous reactionary here. That ain't going to happen, as we already discussed, most likely. We're talking, you got a little notice, hey, something just happened, we got the time to do the thing. Don't let yourself or a loved one die for lack of one little cheap item. That would be a disposable razor blade. If you have facial hair of any kind, and I mean any kind, less than what I've got, and I keep mine short on purpose, you will want to have this duct taped to the mask, right? Not literally, because then you get gooey stuff left on it when you rip it off. Have it with the mask, because in that kind of emergency, you're going to take this puppy and you're going to start shaving it real quick and real fast. And we ain't talking about standing at the sink with your favorite super duper super soft aloe vera shaving cream and just doing that. No, you're going to be slicing hair off fast as you can. If you're smart, you'll get one of the disposable ones that's got the little lube strips on them, so you can stick it in your jar of coffee real quick if you have to wet it, and that little bit of lube on there will help with cutting the hair and keeping you from getting razor burn too bad. But I never see anybody talking about keeping that razor blade with their mask. You cannot get a seal if you've got a lot of facial hair. And as we know, all the real hardcore serious cool guys have got tons of facial hair. So if you're one of those, I know you're cooler than me, but you'll want to have one of these with that. Because if you don't get rid of all this, that ain't going to work. And the fuller that mane is, the longer and harder it's going to be for you to get it all off. So, just something to think about. It's something I don't see anybody talking about or mentioning. A couple of days worth of stubble, depending on how fast yours grow, could be enough to keep you from getting a good seal. It's a thing. As anybody that's ever went through a CS chamber in the military can attest to, getting a good seal with this mask is a thing. So that's my little mini, whatever you want to call it, on using gas masks and having them on hand. Whether you should or not, that's up to you. I think if you do, you need to keep it in context of how you will and won't be using it. I think you need to make sure you take the right precautions to have it ready, and really think it through, because it's easy to get one of these and get a false sense of security and think that, oh, I've got a gas mask and a filter, something happens, I just throw it on and I'm good, I can just breathe. Because you see all kind of things in TV and the movies that don't really pan out to how it works in real life. So think it through, guys. Be very careful and sure, because you give yourself a false sense of security, and when it comes time that you actually need to use it, it's a bad time to figure out, oh crap, I forgot something. I didn't think about this, didn't think about that, because at that point, it's either going to be too late for you, or, God forbid, too late for somebody you deeply love and care about. I'm just saying. So, if you got it, I would devote some regular time. We devote time to dry firing our gun and practicing with that. Devote some time to learning how to quickly put this on and clear it. There's plenty of videos out there on how to do it. I won't bore you here with trying to give you a demonstration. Go look that up on your own time. But practice putting it on and clear it. If you're going to have it and keep it around, even if you've got a heads up, you still want to do things in the most efficient manner possible, because the quicker you get that situated, the quicker you move on to doing other things. So I hope that makes sense. Buy a pack of them. Keep them with it. You should have a lot of these stored anyway, because if things ever go bad, you're going to want a way to keep things trimmed up anyhow, just for good hygiene. But if you're planning on using that, you definitely want to have a bunch of them on hand. And not just on hand, you need it with the mask. Take care, guys. Hope that explains where I'm coming from a little bit better. Hopefully Cousin Dick doesn't throw anything at me through the computer. If he does, it'll probably hurt. I don't know. We'll see. Y'all take care. I'll see you later.